Welcome to the channel, guys. My name is Jess. So Bitcoin's price action this week has been absolutely brutal. We started off on Monday with mass liquidations of billions of dollars, and the bounce so far has been unsuccessful in creating a road to high time frame recovery. So we're going to dive into today's video to talk about why the recent bounce was unsuccessful, what we need to trigger an actual recovery from Bitcoin, and what to watch out for in the next leg downwards. Before we dive in, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to get regular Bitcoin analysis every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, as well as joining my free Telegram if you want more regular updates. If you're interested in my VIP channel, you can get more details over here. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trading setups with exact entry points, targets, and stop losses. Alrighty guys, so let's dive into the charts and talk about the recent price action before we dive into our analysis. So if you guys were blessed enough to miss the price action earlier on this week, it was absolutely insane. On Monday morning, we had a massive crash from Bitcoin that took us all the way down to retest the base of support within our weekly range over here, all the way down at $91,000. So that is over a 10% drop. Altcoins got absolutely obliterated along the way as well, dropping below a massive 2-month level of macro support at 840 billion and going all the way down to tap $740 billion in altcoin market cap. So needless to say, liquidations were insane. Over that 24-hour period, we had over $1 billion in long liquidations alone. Now, since then, the market has kind of dropped off a little bit. We can see liquidations have slowed down over the last couple of days. And if we take a look at market data, similarly, it's kind of slowing down. 24-hour volume is down nearly 50%. Open interest is really low. Funding rates are very, very low right now. Barely any positions are being taken. And 24-hour liquidations, of course, down 61%. Over the last couple of days, though, there was a little bit of interesting price action where Bitcoin attempted a little bit of a bounce. That bounce, however, was unsuccessful. We can see that one over here, taking the price to around $102,000. We're going to dive into today's video to talk about why this bounce was unsuccessful in creating that sort of higher time frame pathway to recovery and what we really need to see to signal that. And then, of course, analyzing this chart and going in to talk about what's going to signal the next leg downwards to retest $91,000 and the probabilities of that continued leg downwards. Before we get into the rest of the video, guys, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor, BTC. We can get 15% off all of your trading fees and up to $5,500 in sign-up rewards when you create your free account using the link down in my description box. BTC is an emerging cryptocurrency exchange committed to providing you with a secure, convenient, and highly functional trading and investment platform. Available across all countries as a non-KYC exchange, get global access to over 150 trading pairs with minimal fees on both spot and futures contracts. Join today to get $5,500 in sign-up rewards and get 15% off all of your trading fees by signing up using the link in my bio or by using the code 1GG3 when you create your account. So starting off our analysis here on the daily chart, let's talk about why this bounce over here was unsuccessful and what a successful bounce really actually means. So if we take a look here, we can see almost immediately after Bitcoin tapped this 91K region, we saw an immediate reversal back upwards that took us as high as $102,000. Now, what that reversal does tell us is that we have a massive amount of support at these lower levels over here, ranging from $91,000 to $92,000 and potentially even higher at $95,000 over here where this liquidity zone begins. And that tells us that there's a lot of demand at these lower levels and that they are being actively defended. So as of right now, taking a look at this daily chart, we know from the bounce that it is very unlikely that Bitcoin is going to break below $91,000. We have successfully defended that as a base of support. However, it was unsuccessful in actually determining a bullish trajectory here on the higher time frame charts, as it failed to rally enough or long enough to actually push above any sort of levels of actual significance. So levels of significance are those that we can map out better on a 12-hour time frame. So if we go over and take a look, we can see that the clear level that we were trying to break, or that we wanted to break in this rally over here, if it was going to be successful on a high time frame, was a push above this level of resistance over here, starting at $104.5 to $107,000. And it is the prior high in this downtrend that we have created here on the 12-hour charts. If we were able to push above this horizontal level, as well as our structural downtrend here in the crash, right, where we had perfect confluence with that horizontal, we should have seen Bitcoin push above that, establish this as a base of support, and continue on to test then the all-time high at $110,000 and continue on in a bullish high timeframe trajectory. So in failing that, it essentially tells us that Bitcoin continues to travel in this high timeframe horizontal range, our weekly range, right? And that is, if we go into the weekly chart, ranging from, of course, the close for the all-time high, or the weekly close of the all-time high at 104.5, and the base here at $91,000. We're still very much traveling within that range, right? And while we're in that range and we haven't seen any strong signs of reversal yet, which we'll go over on the short time frame, we can expect then that Bitcoin is likely to actually see a bearish continuation to retest that low at 91,000. Now, if we also take a look at momentum on the 12-hour chart, another reason why this bounce was unsuccessful is because we failed to push momentum here on this 12-hour time frame to positive, right, and flip this downtrend that we had existing over the entire sort of correction period, starting from the all-time high at $110,000. And so conversely then, or moving forward, if we want to see a high time frame bullish continuation or a bounce that leads to high time frame bullish continuation, we want to see this trend line flipped. That is likely going to be the first thing that will happen. And then the structural and horizontal levels that also have significance on this chart to be flipped to support in order to see that push back upwards. Now, in the meantime, Bitcoin is still very much traveling in some sort of horizontal consolidation, and we're still very much within this daily range over here, right? Starting at $100,000 to $91,000, we can see that it was a massive level of volume, and it wasn't until we flipped 100K as support right here that we were able to facilitate those continuations to new highs. Now that we've re-entered back into the daily range, let's dive into the short time frame to talk about the potential for the next leg downwards towards $91,000 once again, or potentially on the short time frame, what would signal the beginning of the move back upwards to retest the top of the daily range at $100,000 and a breakout of those huge levels of, I guess, resistance on the high time frame that would facilitate a high time frame bullish continuation. So if we zoom into the hourly chart, we can see that since establishing this local top here at $102,000 and that sort of short time frame rally, Bitcoin has gone on to since create these lower highs on the price action over the last couple of days as we push against this base of support here created at $96,000 to $96,500. So obviously on the hourly chart here, it's not looking all that great, right? The pattern resemblance here is quite similar to a descending triangle, wherein eventually after absorbing or finally pushing through that buy wall or the support at that level through repetitive retests and I guess weaker rallies and weaker bounces, eventually leading to a breakdown of that buy wall at the level of support at $96,000 and resulting in that next leg downwards. So on the short time frame, if we're looking out for the next move downwards, that is our key trigger point. A close below 96,000, or the number is exactly, I think it's 96.44, should trigger a move down to retest the next available base of support at $94,000. And then of course, just below that, we have the range low for our macro range at 91,000, and that would be a retest as well of our prior low here. Okay, so we really want to see that level of support once again actively defended. On the flip side, if we want to see the short time frame narrative flip to being bullish and those first initial pushes towards these sort of macro resistances that we need to see broken, or those higher time frame levels, we need to break out of this structural downtrend as well, as alongside its horizontal levels of confluence. So once again, momentum is going to be leading. We're going to see a shift. If we see the shift, of course, if the charts flip bullish, a flip of this RSI trend line, a push above that on the hourly chart. So very likely going to need to close above that RSI trend line. And then, of course, a push above these levels of resistance, eventually leading to a push above the range high. That is going to signal a move into this volume gap over here, where Bitcoin is then likely to go on and retest that high time frame level of resistance at $104,500, the same one that we mapped out on the 12-hour chart. That would also mean that we go on to retest the high time frame downtrend that we have here, and in pushing above this level of resistance, break above the trend line as well as that horizontal level. If Bitcoin goes on to break out of the structural downtrend but does not manage to clear above the resistances established at the prior highs, the the moves, although we're seeing a short time frame bounce, will not lead to anything significant, right? Very likely then that if we see a rejection of those levels, Bitcoin will go back down to retest the space of support at $96,000, whereupon consolidating and I guess once again absorbing through that buy wall, push back down into those lower levels of support. Alrighty guys, that is all the analysis that I have for you today. If you enjoyed the video or you learned something, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're after even more content, be sure to check out my free Telegram for daily updates as well as crypto and economic news. And if you're interested in my VIP channel, you can get more details over here. VIP gives you exclusive access to my personal trading setups with exact entry points, targets, and stop losses. And if you are a trader, don't forget to sign up down below to BitUnext to get 15% off all of your trading fees. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!